Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Feels like, I don't know, this 3 weeks or so that I've been able to do this. Yeah, okay. Making sure we got audio. We're good to go. How's everybody doing? I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me on the stream. I'm going to show you some footage that's pretty spectacular. I don't think I played it last week. Heli skiing. Did I play any heli skiing footage last week? I don't think I did. Anyway. D&D aerial photography, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really, really appreciate it. It will go to a good cause, aka coffee, for me. Since we're well into winter here now, although I wouldn't know it from outside because it's been raining for the last couple of days and everything's turning to ice. Yeah, we're well into winter and it's cold and dark. It's getting much darker than it used to be. Let's see, Alaska Filmer, drone shots. Steve, Donna TV from Canada, East Coast Canada. Hi, Steve. How are you doing? Whereabouts on the East Coast of Canada? And Bretner, hello. OnlyFuns from Japan. OnlyFuns, nice. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Keith Brown, Mark H, Planet Patrick, Bud Beaver, Bill. First snow there today. Pretty clean landscapes. Nice. Beautiful. Wow, Mark H, thank you very much. It's good to see you too, and thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. We never have enough heli video. 3 weeks, is that a record? Yeah, it feels like it is lately. It's quite a few weeks in a row. You can have some of your snow, bud. Oh, we have plenty of snow. We broke the all-time record ever for snowfall here in Anchorage. Over 39 inches of snow in like, I don't know, what it was, 7 days, 8 days, something like that. It was ridiculous. And I'm sure we're going to get more soon. Craig Godspeed, Brizwiz. Hey, good day. Okay, so if this is your first time on the chat, the whole point of this chat is to have questions and answers and for us to have a conversation, because I can't get to, I do get to every comment, but I cannot get, once I answer a comment once, I can't get to the replies or follow-up questions or anything like that. So this is a place for us to have more of a conversation. So if you have questions about cameras, lenses, drones, anything like that, put it in the chat. I will do my best to answer it. Other people in the chat are pretty awesome too, and they'll do their best to help you answer questions as well, or chime in and agree or disagree with my answers, which is fine. But the main thing is that we're all here and all going to hang out for the next hour or so. So, hey, Kyle Watts, how's it going, Rick? You still like the Air 2S? You love your drone, Rick. I still do like the Air 2S. I don't have one anymore. I go through iterations of drones like crazy, partly because it's my job, but partly for YouTube, and because at least up to this point, I've never been sent any for free from DJI or anything. I've had to buy them all, so I generally have to sell one to make room and budget for another one. So, but yeah. That being said, there will be some drone stuff coming up, but I'm going to be doing a lot more. I'll be getting back into a lot more like camera, lenses, stuff like that. Rode recently sent me this, the Wireless Pro. So thank you very much, Rode. I'm excited to put this thing through its paces and really try them out. So yeah, you'll be seeing some content about that coming up soon. And then also, I am filming on one of these, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen that, my reel I did for these, but these are the Philip Bloom gold filters, diffusion filters, which are just, I love these things. They are amazing. So right now I've got and a sad story about my A7S III. I've got a quarter stop gold bloom filter on my camera. They are one of the best things ever for interviews, to sit down interviews, because they just like give a little bit of niceness to skin. Like it's a little warm and it just tones in skin a little bit nicely. I really, really like them. So let's see. The Almanac was calling for heavy participation this winter for what it's worth, Alaska. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to get hammered with snow, hopefully. I'd rather stick away from the rain. Taylor, do I still recommend the Air 2S? I do if you're doing mostly photography, or if you're on a budget. The Air 2S is a good deal, but the photography of the Air 2S is excellent. It's really, really good. Video-wise, the Air 3 or the Mini 4 Pro even, other than the 5.1K resolution, whatever it was, 5.2K resolution, the Air 3 and the Mini 3 or Mini 4 are going to beat it just because they have newer sensor technology and newer processing technology. But the Air 2S is still an excellent drone. Yeah. The Mini 4 Pro rocks. Yes, it does. It is. DJI 3 Pro versus 4 Pro. B. Kelly, which DJI 3 versus 4? I guess it'd be the Mini 3 versus Mini 4. So the Mini 4, in my opinion, is a pretty big step up because it has the all-around obstacle avoidance. It has a much better image transmission system. Well, I don't know, much better is a bit of a stretch, but it has a better image transmission system. And so I would go... yeah, I mean, if you can, I would go with the Mini 4 Pro. But the Mini 3 Pro is pretty dang solid, too. So, let's see. Steve Don TV in Canada. Does the Mavic Air 3 and Mini 4 Pro share the same RC remote? Yes, it does. So, and that's exactly what I do. I bought the RC2, the DJI RC2 with the Air 3 when it came out. And then with the Mini 4 Pro, I have used the DJI RC2. There's a kind of weird little quirk that you have to, like, it says you have to upgrade the firmware when you're switching between the drones. It takes like 30 seconds or something like that, maybe less. Anytime you switch between the drones, like if you're like live, out there with both drones switching back and forth. But it works with the same remote, which is great. You do real estate for many people, Taylor? Awesome. Do I still recommend the Air 2S? You're asking about the Air 2S. Yeah, for real estate, it's great. It's a really, really good drone for real estate. So absolutely, I would. Let's see. Craig Godspeed. Being in Alaska, you're likely a pro at this, but what do you do to keep your batteries and other equipment warm while all out on site in cold weather? Craig, I need to do a video about this again probably because it changes from year to year. Currently, I am using lots of hand warmers, and I don't think I have them in here. Oh, hold on one second. I think they're here. No, they're not. I gotta find them. So I'm using lots of Hot Pocket hand warmers, and then also Zippo makes these little plug-in USB rechargeable hand warmers, which are great. They last about 4 hours. Depending on how cold it is, they last a bit. And then I also use a heated LiPo battery bag from Ethics, which is an FPV company from Mr. Steele. It works fairly well. In most of the temperatures I operate at, it's too cold and I have to extra insulate it, like bundle it with some other stuff to keep it warm enough, or insulate it enough that it can stay warm. And then I also have a little Zippo. It's about this big, and it's a gas. What kind of gas? It's a little, like, it's not butane, but it's a like kerosene or something like that. It's not kerosene either. I don't remember what it is. And lighter fluid. It's lighter fluid. That word works exceptionally well because it gets very, very warm for like warming up your hands in a hurry. And it's weird because you would think that it'd be flammable. It's not the way it works, but it stays super warm and it goes for a very long time, like 8 to 10 hours, which is my favorite for like warming up my hands when I need to warm them up really fast because it's just this mass amount of heat. You can kind of push your hands on it and push the heat into your fingers again so you can feel. Speaking of which, we'll transition. Hey, Bob Casey. Let's see. You can have waypoints on one drone and use on another drone flight. Steve Donna, I haven't tried that specifically. That would be interesting to see if you can. I'm not sure you can on the prosumer level of drones. So on that, I've had a few questions about if the Air 3 can do professional grade work. So this is me doing professional grade work with the Air 3, doing some heli skiing stuff and trying not to crash my drone. Also, while really basically not being able to feel my fingers and trying to keep my batteries thawed out because this was about minus 12 Fahrenheit, I think. And as you can imagine, everything is moving super fast paced and happening very quickly in real time with, so it was interesting. I probably should give my usual disclaimer of whenever I'm working with manned aircraft, the manned aircraft pilot and I take a lot of steps to communicate beforehand, and I'm going to do a whole video about this. Communicate beforehand, flight paths, altitudes, distances, everything, and then while we're doing it, the manned aircraft pilot and I, the helicopter pilot and I, are always in live communication. I have a handheld radio, an aircraft handheld radio with my headset, a Bose aircraft radio headset, and then a push-to-talk switch so that I can talk and we can communicate in real time because it's crucially important. So you should never try and do that without like knowing what you're doing. But yeah, so there we go. Let's see. So that was minus 12 Fahrenheit. No idea what that is in Celsius off the top of my head. Minus 7, maybe? Minus 8? No, it'd be colder than that. Minus 18, 19, something like that. Minus 19 maybe Fahrenheit, or Celsius. So it was very cold, and there was a slight breeze. And I was doing everything I could to keep my batteries from freezing up. It was very difficult, and but it turned out great. And it looked beautiful, which is the main thing. So that was with the Air 3. So anybody who says you can't do professional work with the Air 3 is wrong. It is more challenging in an environment like that. You absolutely have to have ND filters because it's so much light coming in from the snow and the sun. But yeah, it was good. Hey, Eddie Nunez. Let's see. What do I think about the Mavic 3 Cine Mark H? I love it. I have the Mavic 3 Pro Cine, and I use it for a lot of my work for TV shows and documentaries and lots of client work. I didn't use it that day, and I don't remember why specifically. But anyway, I didn't use it that day. I wish that I had. It might have been a space issue because we're 7 of us in a helicopter. It wasn't a weight issue, but it might have been a space issue. Anyway, I wish that I had because the variable aperture would have been nice. And I would have liked to have had that 166 millimeter lens just every once in a while. Would have been spectacular. So, for all the cool items, Craig. Oh, what cool items? You mean the winter stuff? Oh, probably. Yeah. Mark H has a crazy landing of the helicopter. Yeah, so a lot of times when they're doing that, which is, I think, is just a blast. It is, all the guys I'm going with, like, there's always 2 guides who are very well versed in what they're doing and helping to direct people in and out of the helicopter. All of those guys were really pro level skiers and stuff and snowboarders, and most of them were guides. We were collecting promo material for that company, and then of course I've got a lot of experience in it too. I think it's amazing because watching the skill it takes for a helicopter pilot to come down and land on a peak like that and not be able to like power down, but basically have to keep the helicopter in a sort of stabilized hover landing while everybody gets on and off it's seriously impressive, and it's really cool to witness. Also very, very cool to get to film because you see the snow being blown off from the rotor wash and all that. It just is very, very cool. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to do some more of that this winter as the year goes on. And Brett, you're looking forward to what video? Hey, Michael Kaczynski. Yeah, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Okay. Let's see. Minus 24 Celsius, Eric. Thank you. Minus 24. I was kind of close, but not really. I think I said minus 19. Minus 24 Celsius. Yeah, so it's cold. It's very cold. I was dressed for it and bundled for it, but it's just, at that point, like, it's just hard to keep anything warm. In fact, my FPV drone, I was going to get some FPV footage, but the remote had enough moisture in one of the buttons that it was frozen shut or open. So I couldn't arm and disarm the drone properly, which was a bummer. But, yeah. Bob asks, have I done any drone work for the Gold Rush series? I have not, Bob. Yeah. Let's see. Got some filters. Didn't realize the snow can be a problem. It's not a problem necessarily. It's just that because it's white, it's bouncing that much more light back at you. So where a normal sunny day on a, grass field or a meadow or a beach even, you might get away with an ND32 or an ND64. On a sunny day like that in the snow, you're going to need an ND128 minimum because it's almost doubling the amount of light that's coming back because you have this big, huge bounce. Also, coincidentally, you get sunburned twice as fast because it's a lot of sun bouncing back at you. So, yeah. And the fun thing is you get sunburn in places you don't normally get sunburn in, like up inside of your nose. Or if you have your mouth open a lot because you're breathing, because you're at high altitude, you'll get sunburn inside of your mouth because the sun bounces up off the snow. So, yeah, fun anecdotes to note that, you don't think about until you're out there. Anyway, okay, let's see. Peter Rick Lennon. Was I shooting from the ground for that skiing footage? So I did a lot of shooting. All of it was from the ground, yes. I did a lot of shooting where I was just staying with the helicopter. We would stop at the top, and then the guys would drop off the edge, and I would follow them down. Interestingly, the Air 3 will not descend faster than 6.5 miles an hour, so a third, almost a quarter of its normal descent, maximum descent speed, if it's descending below its takeoff point. I learned this the hard way. So if you want that max descent speed, which if you're chasing snowboarders and skiers down a hill, you really need to start at the bottom of wherever they're going to run from and go up. So for that one, I had the helicopters, I had them drop me off down below, kind of where everyone was going to end back up. And then the pilot and I communicated kind of what our flight path was going to be, where the drone was going to be, all that sort of the safety stuff that we talked about. We had a safety briefing with the guides and the skiers. And then I took off, or the helicopter took off, because basically, and they'll have a whole video about this because it's part of my Tamron 17-50 review. Basically, I lay on top of all my stuff while the helicopter takes off, because I'm literally here and the helicopter is here, like within being able to touch it. Because you don't want to walk far if you don't know what you're walking on when you're up in those mountains, because it could be glaciers, it could be crevasses. We don't quite have enough snow to really safely cover up crevasses yet. And so, but the danger is obviously that something could get blown up. It's a big helicopter, it's blowing a lot of air. And so you basically get everything out and then lay on it and give the pilot a thumbs up, and then they take off and get out of the way, or get away. And then, you're good to start going. So fun experience. I can't wait to show you a lot of the footage and photos that I took with the Tamron, because it was a great lens for that day. But, yeah, it was a really, really fun day. Okay, Michael, you flew your Mavic 3 Pro last night. Even now, every flight, I fall in love with this drone. It's so good at night, if possible, to get better. It's true. That drone is very good in low light. It's amazing. Robert, sounds like I need to revisit the drone. Vegas to defrost. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Brisbane, do I dial down my own expo settings quite a bit for those slow pans, tilts, or do you simply fly with small movements and thumbs in cine mode? So that was all in sport mode, and that was me just being very careful. It got extremely difficult because it got to the point where I couldn't feel, because I have gloves that, the fingertips come off and the thumb tips, but it doesn't take long at that temp before you can't feel anything. And so it got progressively more difficult to do that. But yeah, might have been in normal mode, but that was just me moving slowly, intentionally. So the video on videoing the chopper work. Yes, and Bretner, exactly. 128 next ride. Yeah, I mean, that's only if you got like a good full broad sun. If you're in the shadow side of a mountain or something like that, you're not going to need more than like ND32 probably. So, Craig, you mentioned that I haven't always been a drone pilot. You tell a story of what the trigger was for you to make that career transition. Craig, yeah. Hey, Freewell Gear. Actually, we're just talking about your filters a few minutes ago. Let's see, so it's kind of a long story, and it's I probably need to weave it into some videos somehow. But I'd gotten to the point where what I was doing before I got extremely burnt out in. And by burnt out, I don't mean like tired of doing the job and tired of like the work. I mean, I got burned out to the point, it was kind of high stress, and I got burned out to the point where I barely physically could function. And a doctor told me that I had to make a life change, or I was going to have a life change happen to me. in the way of like my adrenal glands might burn out or were going to burn out in a matter of time. It was just a matter of when, and that I would probably need to be put on like a lot of different pressure medications and stuff like that. So I took a step back from that, and part of my process for kind of recovering and stuff like that, I'd always loved videography, photography, stuff like that. I was going out and doing lots of just outdoor walks with my kids. I like outdoors. And so I decided I want to film those adventures with them for their like future, and just because I enjoyed doing it. And so one of those things was naturally get a drone. So I got a drone. I started posting little clips about it here and there on YouTube or Instagram, and just kind of posting nonsense stuff. And it, like, one thing led to another, and here I am, 7 years later, 8 years later, 9 years later. I don't know. It's been a while. Where, you know, now it's part of my big part of my full-time career, which is awesome. Oh yeah. CPL and filters best for snow. Michael, I don't. If I'm doing video, I generally don't do CPL filters because depending on the angle of the light will change how it looks. So I just stick with just straight ND filters, which is why I love, for the Air 3 at least, well, on the Mavic 3 too, I love the straight up ND filters from Freewell. The CPL filters are useful if you're going to be flying in one direction, the sun is in another direction, and you can line it up properly. So yeah, that's kind of my like thoughts on it all, or where I end up. For video, I like just regular ND filters. For photo work, I do like polarizing filters, CPL filters, and ND filters to control the way it exposes. Steve, on that one, where was I? So I was down, you saw where all the skiers were going down. I was down at the bottom of that bowl, standing on a glacier, and where the helicopter dropped me off. So I was, I don't know, it was like 700-800 feet away, maybe, and probably 500 or 600 feet down below. I think it was about 600 feet below them. So I had a great line of sight, great visuals, great communication with the helicopter and stuff like that. So yeah. Sony bought a new drone. Nice. I haven't heard of that one. Snowy Finland. What? Another Northern Hemisphere wintertime brother. Nice. I'd love to come visit Finland sometime. Michael Anderson. Hey from Australia. You guys are just jumping into summer, aren't you? Scott, almost at 100K. I know, 98K. I don't remember exactly what I'm at. A little over 98K, which is amazing. I remember 4 or 5 years ago, like, I think I was just trying to get to 10K. And I was like, man, this is taking forever. It is so hard. And then looking at other people who are hitting 100K, and I was like, there's just no way I'm ever going to get there. And now here I am. So, any advice for how it shoot? I don't know that drones suddenly. So, but I do have lots of videos on the channel about how to get good shots with drones, like general information of like different types of shots you want to capture with a drone. George Kelly, winter in Wisconsin. Nice. How long have I lived in Alaska? One of your students lived here for 7 years, but moved to Arizona a few years ago. I've lived here 26 years total, I think. 26 years, something like that. 27 years, somewhere in there. Suddenly, definitely do 4K if you can. I would 30 FPS, frankly. Meh, it's okay. Lawn. Yeah, it's all right. Steve, your left hand was paralyzed after a couple of years ago. Fingertips on the left hand always frozen. Need gloves with finger sensitivity. Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you still get out to enjoy doing stuff. Let's see. I know I haven't seen him for a while, but there's a gentleman from Ireland who is I can't remember if he's quadriplegic, but he's pretty limited mobility, and he manages to fly drones, which is very cool. Scott, need to create insulated bag box to fly in extreme cold with some glove warmers. There has to be a middle ground where you can fly with your fingertips not being frozen. Scott, there is actually. I just need to get one, and I've been delaying getting one. So, but there is one out there, and yeah, I think it might be in stock now. I'm gonna order it to get it because I definitely want to. That's okay, Sonali. Just yeah. watch my how to fly drones for beginners video and take it very carefully. Speaking of kids, what's the age range of your kids? Are they interested in what you do? Somewhat, but not really. They're all in their teenage years now. So, yeah, it's challenging. And they're, finding out the stuff that they like to do and what their passions are, which I fully support and encourage. Oh my gosh. Steve Donna, that's terrible. So sorry. You have high blood pressure too. No idea how stressful a gig is. That's true, Peter. It is very, very true. Thankfully now my blood pressure is in a great range. It's actually on the lower side, which is historically what my family and I have always had. So, but it took a bit of work to get back down there, and obviously a huge life change, which I'm super happy with now. So, scary. Got the drone landed. Steve Donna. That's kind of true. It is kind of true. Yeah. Craig, yeah, sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're recovering well. Raise your hand if you stood on a glacier. Who else is raising their hand? Anybody else raising their hand? Let's see. Quality, Freewell, Aesthetics, Polar Pro. I don't know. Maybe. There's one thing that Polar Pro... So Freewell filters lean a little bit more magenta, which I find that I prefer, and Polar Pro leans a little bit more green, which I don't like as much. So, yeah. Anyway. 30 to 60 cinematic... Jeremiah. So a large developer is looking for 30 to 60 cinematic hero roll for their landing page. They don't want plain drone footage, sunsets, warm, extended, edited. What do you charge? Oh, man, Jeremiah. So they want, you mean like a 30 to 60 second A-roll footage? Yeah, answer me that, Jeremiah. 30, 60, okay, there we go. I gotcha. Oh, crap. I got to get caught up on the chat, you guys. Let's see. Now for color. Do wide lens. Let's see. Thank you. I have no idea how to say your name. Neck. I don't know how to say your screen name, but thank you. Appreciate it. Lawn. I've had both. I would say it's 6 1/2 dozen, frankly. Let's see. Evolutionary Tom, right now, it's just me, and it's partly why I focus on helping solo creators like myself. But yeah, it's just me at the moment. Let's see. Looks like a cool audio system. I do, Tom. These are some custom-made recording studio monitors that I got a while back, and they're very, very, very cool, and I love them. And there's only they were custom built by this mastering engineer at Capitol Records. Hand built. They're pretty spectacular. Scott, absolutely true. New drone. Looking at Mavic 3 Pro or Air 3, would you recommend? Just waiting to see what they announce next. I mean, there's nothing on the horizon that I know of, so I would say for what you want to do, I probably do the Air 3. Honestly, it's a great one. Nice. Polar Pro, so much color shift. See, Jared, I agree. And people think I'm crazy when I say that, but I do find that it has a lot more color shift than other filters. Lon. I think Lon just came in here looking for a fight. That's what I think. So go ahead. Pick a fight. Pick a fight, Eddie. Lon, go for it. Okay, so Jeremiah, you want to know like a 30 to 60 second spot for A-roll on their landing page. They don't want plain drone footage. They want sunsets, warm, edited, etc. So what I would do is you're looking at like a full entire day, maybe a day and a half of work or maybe 2 days of work, honestly, to go out and capture like sunrise, sunsets. You might like do a hyperlapse at one of those sunrises, maybe, and then some other like golden hour shots of their stuff. You got driving time in there, your equipment, all of that. So, I mean, realistically, that it sounds like like, and then editing together. I mean, realistically, that sounds like $1,000 to $2,000 job, pretty easily. Maybe $2,500 even. I would say you're in that $2,000 plus range, somewhere in there. That's my feel on it. But without knowing more details than that, it's hard to say. But that's kind of my feeling on it, because you're looking at least one full day plus editing, and but maybe more realistically like two days or a day and a half to capture everything, depending on how many different sites they want to send you to or have you go film. Okay, let's see. Scott, not a fan of Polar Pro. Gotcha. Hey, Sam. Let's see. Mini 4 Pro is now what you have, and you like it, but maybe something bigger soon. Man, I wish I knew how to say your name. From Finland. I am just butchering it every single time. Anyway, yeah, I think if you have the Mini 4 Pro, a great upgrade from that is the Air 3. But if you want a substantial image quality upgrade, then you're looking at the Mavic 3. So, yeah. But the Mini 4 Pro is a solid little drone, man. I've been enjoying it. Lawn. Yeah, sure. Mark H, I do have lots of affiliate links. They're always in the description. In fact, I think there's affiliate links in the description of this video. Let's take a look, shall we? But basically, I try and affiliate link everything into stuff. Where's the... Oh. But essentially, if you just go here, like if you're going to buy anything off Amazon and you go here, click that link, and then anything you buy on Amazon, I would get a, like, well, depending on what it is, between 1 and like 4% or 5% affiliate commission. So anyway. And I do appreciate anybody who uses those links. Like when I'm reviewing a product, if you feel like I've done a good job and you want to help, give a little something back to the channel, using those links really does help me out quite a bit. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Kyle Watts, what did you say? What? True Lambo. Oh. Eddie and Lon, you guys. Hey, Blue Planet Drone. Kyle Watts, personally a big fan of Polar Pro. White balances after the filter's on. Like what the filter does in sunsets. Yeah, they have some nice stuff. The thing I like about the Freewell ones is they're the only ones so far. Well, I guess DJI did with the Mavic 3 Pro. But with the Air 3, they're the only ones that came out with a properly set ND set, a split ND set that's, offset. So you have a ND32 and an ND64 on the bottom, so it's properly exposed between the two different cameras, which I love. Let's see. Okay. Point proven, end of discussion. Michael Kaczynski, you can make that much for a day's work with excellent drone footage. Well, that's more than a day's work, though, Michael. That's like, you're at least like one very long day, because you're talking sunrise to sunset. Plus then the next day maybe doing another sunrise or sunset, or a different location even. And then also you're talking about editing time. Plus you've got to plan for the fact that they're probably going to come back with revisions. So that's at minimum, I would say 2.5 to 3 days of work, full days. So, but yeah. D&D Aerial, with a handheld camera, do you do a video and take a screenshot for pictures, or just aim and shoot pictures? Amateur question. Do I do video? Oh, no, I always do video or photos. I don't ever do like video and then screen capture or, screen capture the photos off the video. The only camera I might do that with is maybe the A1 with the 8K footage. But even then, it is so much substantially better to do a photo because the quality, the depth, the amount of information detail you get is so much more than in a photo, cause especially raw photos, than it is doing a video and doing a screen capture, even with like S-Log3 and all that. So I always shoot photos or video. Yeah, that's what I do. Lawn, I would never, ever say that. They're not even close in the same league. So, there. Eddie Nunez. Oh, man. What about PGY Tech? Neither one of you are mentioning them. Oh, you guys. What time is it? 4:36. All right. I think I've caught up on everybody's questions. So if you got questions, ask in the chat, and we'll try and answer from there. But let's see what else. Oh, story time. My A7S III fell out of the back of my car with the 24-105 attached. Took a tumble, broke. Yeah, there is nothing quite like watching your camera tumble down a hill on concrete end over end with a lens attached, knowing that every single time it hits something, something is getting broken and damaged. It just is a really good feeling. Now, the extended warranty that I purchased for it has run out. And so, but thankfully I do have Sony Pro support. And so that bumps the cost down quite a bit. Plus they pay for shipping both ways. And then their turnaround time generally is really good. So they got it back to me, I think it's like 3 business days or 4 business days. I think I had it back, and all fixed up and good as new. I won't say how much it cost because it still costs, I think it was like $500 or $600 to repair both. Which sucks. So I did just say it was over $600. But yeah, but it sucked because it was one of those things where you're like, oh, that could have been prevented. Dang it. But it's back. I'm using the A7S III right now. So. Oh, Lon. It's true. I am. I've sent cameras to them. Yeah. I think every single camera I own at this point has been sent to them for repair. The FX6 had to get sent in for repair early on. That was a warranty issue with the ND filter. The A1 just had to go down there that's been down there twice. Both of them warranty issues. And now the A7S III. So every single camera I own has now been sent to Sony Pro support for repair. Yeah. Go cat. Yeah, right. Hey, Carbon Cage FPV. It sucks about the camera breaking. Sorry to hear that. But good you got it fixed, though. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I can't. I was kind of at the point I was like, well, if they come back and tell me, like, it's going to be like $1,500 or something like that to get repaired because, like, the main board is fried and the sensor's cracked, or I don't know. That I was like, you know what? I'm fine. I'll just buy a brand new ZV-E1 or V1, E1, F1, whatever it is. The basically A7S III in a smaller body. Or an A7C Mark II, actually. It's a really solid camera. And, about that same price. And then at least I would get focus breathing compensation and AI autofocus and all that. So anyway. Lawn. Yeah, right. So it wasn't that much. I mean, for both the camera and the lens, both repairs, it was a little over $600 for both of them to get fixed. And, it's a $3,500 camera, a $1,200 lens that I use a lot. Both of them I use a lot. So I was like, okay, that's worth it. And honestly, I gotta say, like, these are tools for me. I use them a lot daily. So, and they make money for my family and I. So not just drone work, but camera video work too. So yeah, I can't complain too much. Dropped a 4-inch round, 85 of the ocean, 1,000 people. Oh, I can still see this picture. Oh, Peter. Isn't that painful? Or you're just like, ah. And you know, it's like, you can't do anything about it, but you just watch it happen. You're just like, oh. Like when I sent one of my drones to the bottom of a crevasse in a glacier, and it was just like, ah. And there's just, you know, yeah. Anyway. Evolutionary Tom. So I use Sony. And I use Sony Pro support, and I generally do buy the extended warranty on cameras that I buy, because that's, I think it takes it out to 3 years. So it's the insurance for 3 years of coverage, basically. So I did have the option to extend on the A7S III. Somehow I missed the notice that it was coming due, and I need to extend it, and so it's a little bit of a bummer, but it's fine. Yeah, camera's all back, fixed up, good as new, clean, updated, running like a champ. Paul, ouch, dang, sorry to hear that. Yeah. So the answer is Evolutionary Tom. I do generally buy the insurance, extended warranty, whatever you want to call it, the care plan for my stuff, because I think it's. I do put my equipment in a lot of instances where it's in harm's way. At the very least, it's being punished by the elements here. So yeah. Let's see, Jared, you had to ship a Nikon Z9 with lens in for falling. Oh, dang, dude. Repair plus rental, so you keep working, costs $1,600. Wow, Jared, that's pretty sweet, but dang, sorry to hear that. Mark H, how'd my axle repair on my vehicle go? Oh, no, I didn't mention that on the A7S III. So, if you don't know, you've not been following me on Instagram, I posted on my stories that, you know, I run a 4Runner, a 2007 4Runner. It's an older, you know, that's older. I have 330,000 miles on it. My whole goal now is to get it to 500,000. And then once I get to 500,000, my next goal will be to get it to 1 million. Basically, I want to drive this car. I want to get this car to 1 million miles. Anyway, so, but I had to replace the front CV axles. They go bad. The rubber boots and the elements up here, everything, it just tears that stuff apart. And so if you don't keep up on the boots, then they get ripped open, and then the grease from those things can come out and stuff like that. So my driver's side one, it wasn't terrible, but it was, I mean, it's 330,000 miles. It's time to replace anyway. So I got a new one for that and replace it. And then the passenger side one, I have a new one for it too. And okay, so driver's side one, I got everything apart, but I could not get the part of the CV axle that goes into the front differential. I could not get it to break loose because there's a little C-clip in there that keeps it like locked in place. And anybody you ask, they're like, yeah, you just put a hammer, a little pry bar on this side, you pop it with a hammer and it pops right out. They don't. And all those guys are doing it on lifts too, so it's a lot easier for them. Anyway, I did finally get a tool from a helicopter buddy of mine, Choppy Bob on Instagram, and he lent me a tool that made it pop right out. It was great. Got the new one in. Everything's been great there since. On the passenger side, I've decided to let a mechanic deal with it because I broke 2 half-inch drive breaker bars trying to get the axle nut off. So after the second one broke, I was just like, okay, I think I need somebody with bigger and more powerful tools than I have. So I have an appointment scheduled for the beginning of January anyway for some other work. A couple of the shocks or one of the shocks is getting to be about done, and it needs to be replaced. And I'm gonna just look over belts and stuff too, because I'll be driving up to the Arctic again this winter, and so I want to make sure it's in decent shape. Anyway, yeah. So my saga for trying to get my axles repaired, I did get the worst one replaced. And the other one is okay. It's in it's in good shape. It's just the boots are about done. And it's an aftermarket model anyway. And OEM Toyota stuff lasts way longer than aftermarket stuff. So when I take it into the shop, I'm just going to look, guys, like, here's the axle. You know, I'll pay you shop time to replace it. And then whatever else, you know, the other stuff I'm having to do anyway. Because realistically for them, it'll probably take them an hour with the right tools and a lift and all that. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, love my Mavic, love my 4Runner. It is, I love that thing. It's an awesome car. It's the second one I've had that I've gotten to 300,000 miles. But the last one I had got totaled by a friend right after I sold it to him at 300,000 miles. And so this one I'm like, no, I'm going to try and get this one to 500,000 miles. And then I'll try and get it to 1,000,000 miles. Let's see. Lost link to your Mavic 2 Pro. RTH sure save it. Nice. And Bretter, a new one back in 87. Front forwarder. Nice, and Bretter. They're great little trucks. They're really good for what I do, and they're great for Alaska. But anyway, 07 CRV with 170,000, which was a 4Runner. Those are bulletproof. Blue Planet drone. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I am not super easy on my 4Runner. Back mining roads, winter driving up here in just the worst conditions you can imagine, and that thing just keeps on ticking. I'm really good about making sure the oil gets changed. All the fluids in it are synthetic. They're great cars. How many kilometers? And Bretner? Let me see if I can figure that out. I can't do that in my head. Sorry. Let's see. That is, so I'm over 500,000. That's 531,083.5 kilometers, and Bretner. So for all of you in, not in imperial land, in metric land, my 4Runner has 531,083 kilometers on it. So, let's see. Timmy the Toolman. So, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love it if I can get my 4Runner to, 500,000, million miles or whatever. And I would love it if I got Toyota's attention somehow and they were like, that's amazing. Here's a brand new one. Keep repping our brand or whatever. Which who knows? By the time I get to 1,000,000 miles, maybe they will because I'll have a big enough YouTube channel. But I really like the 4Runner platform. For me, what I do, the way I work up here, especially like going out and being able to sleep in it, everything stays warm, everything stays dry. It's a fantastic platform. And the thing will go through ridiculously deep snow in bad weather. So, yeah. And it's true. And Brenner, my very first car and my second car were both Toyotas. One was a Toyota Corolla in 1976. One was a 1977 Toyota Celica. And both of those cars ran way longer than they should, in way worse conditions than they should. The funny thing was we had newer cars, but my 76 Corolla was the only car that started every single time, regardless of the temperature. Never had it plugged in, like 55 below zero, and it started every single. It was amazing. That car was amazing. Yeah. CV axle issue, your brother. You recently spent 4 hours beating on your Camry CV axles. See, you feel my pain, Alaska Filmer. I knew somebody would. Yeah. It's so they make this puller tool and a slide hammer where you pop the puller tool up around it and then you have a slide hammer, and it works great. It works super great. At least for that style. Now, other CV joints, like I've done Subaru CV joints before when we found Subarus, and they actually have a little pin that you have to punch out, and then the whole thing just pops out. But yeah, anyway. CV axles are a pain. The biggest pain, I think, is the fact that you have to work underneath the car, and if you don't have a lift, you're putting up jack stands or jacking up or whatever, you just don't have the range, mobility, and all of that. It just really is a lot more issue. Trying to get your Subaru to 200,000 miles, but it flatlined. Oh, dang, 140,000. Sorry to hear that. Loading fish mode. All right, Kyle. Peace, man. I don't know if I'll be able to join you tonight, but I might try and hang out with you a little bit. But I got a bunch of other stuff I got to do right after this, so we'll see. Cannot be killed. It's true. It's true. They'll run way longer than you want. Lon, yeah. Appreciate comparison with Air 2S. Photojournalist working in the Bahamas. Eric Rose, nice. And you're welcome. Thanks for the kind words. Hopefully it helped you out. Hey, Sean. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. You get any snow yet? You getting some snow? Yeah. Okay, let's see. I think I'm all caught up. Timmy Toolman is a YouTuber for Toyota. He has a 4Runner. And Toyota gave Panda a new 4Runner. Who's Panda? New Tundra. That's cool. I personally, I would love to stick with the 4Runner frame. I like the 4Runner frame. It's a good fit for what I do. All right. Anyway, if you got questions, ask. We got about 10 more minutes in the stream, and then I got to call it. And but if you got questions, ask. So in other news, what's the next video I have coming up? I think is the Tamron 17-50 lens, which will be a lot about the heli skiing clips that I showed you, which I'll play again real quick, just in case you didn't see it. So I went on this and filmed with the Air 3 and then the Tamron A1 and the Tamron 17-50, which is a great lens for this, actually. It was super fun, so you'll see a review about that coming. I've used that lens for a lot of other stuff as well. So you'll see a whole bunch of clips and stuff like that coming about that. I think that's the next video that's coming, and then I'm gonna do a video about. I've also got a video coming about Pocket 3 and Mini 4 together, making like the perfect super lightweight travel combo. So there's that, and other videos coming as well. So yeah. Lots of fun stuff, and it's all going to be very, very, very wintertime looking because we're solidly in winter here. Sean, you said you're still grass showing. Oh, dang, Sean. Sorry to hear that. We had a banger start to the season here, like just got hammered with snow, which is great. Mavic Air 2S, well in the light of new Air 3 for a photographer. Yes, Eric. The Air 2S is still a better photography drone than the Air 3 is, in my opinion. Let's see. Your A7 your A7 M4, A7 IV heats up when you shoot 4K 60 or even at 30 FPS. Any solutions for it? Vishal. So the solutions is make sure you change the auto temp shutoff to high. That's very important. Did I? No. Okay, good. Change the auto temp shutoff to high, and it's like on page 9, I think, of the menu system, if I remember right. It's down there a ways. And then for 4K 30, you should be fairly good, but it's important to make sure the screen is pulled away from the body because the screen will help hold in heat. And then I don't have one here, but like 4K 60 is going to overheat because that's a lot more processing power. So you can either shoot in a lower bit rate, like 8-bit, or also Ulanzi, I think, makes a little fan to go on the back, which substantially improves the performance while filming. So those are my kind of options for that. Hey, Phantom Flight 101. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. What else? Did I miss anything else? Sigma 85mm 1.4 art. Is it okay? I haven't personally used that lens, so I can't give you really strong definite feelings one way or the other. I will say that Sigma puts out some fantastic glass. It's usually really, really good optical quality with great image quality. So pretty nice, pretty good stuff. First quadrant drone, do I use vintage lenses? If so, what do I think of them for pro work? So I don't use a lot of vintage lenses. I have used a few. And to me, like the vintage lenses, it's all about the kind of look you want to get and the feeling you want to evoke with the footage you are shooting. So I think they have a place for sure. For most of my work, I end up using Sony lenses or Tamron lenses because they're just pretty neutral. The bokeh is nice, and then I can kind of shape the image to look the way I want it to look in the end. But I will say, like some of the vintage lenses, especially like some of the Helios lenses and some of the older Canon lenses too, like they really do have a look to them that's it's special, and it makes things look pretty nice. So yeah. Ever notice anything off about the darker DJI ND filters in Mavic 3 Pro on the main camera, like black shadow, like dots? No, I haven't, Michael. One thing you will notice is as you get into darker ND filters, there is more and more color shift, and it's really, really hard to avoid that. I've noticed it on everything, so, but not dots. I haven't noticed that. That's interesting. Thank you, Vishal. I appreciate that. I am at some point I'm gonna have a whole video coming about the new studio setup, the build out and everything. I still am like, I need to finalize a few things and finish a couple things up so I could put that together, but it's coming at some point, I promise. Craig Godspeed, thanks for joining as a channel member. Appreciate that. Let's see, just put in for the Sigma 150 to 600 contemporary for Canon. Nice, Eric. That's a great lens too, from what I've heard. Steamboat is about to get dumped on this week. 20 to 40 inches? Holy crap, dude. Nice. Oh, you only got 4 to 10? Dang. Yeah, that's a big difference. That's a bummer. We got 39 inches in 5 or 6 days up here. It was pretty substantial, and it made the streets here just an absolute mess. Mark H, looking forward to the Sony A9 III with global shutter. I am working on getting that. Looks like Jevin and I will be working together on videos about that because he has access to getting it maybe a little early. So yeah, I won't tell you what we're planning on doing with it, but it'll be epic. So anyway, but I am working on getting one to review. Still not sure. I'm kind of back and forth on whether I would want one or not. I can tell you it does make you very interested for the A1 Mark II for sure. Fun stuff. Any news on the new version of the DJI mic? Fun stuff. No news that I know of anyway. Other than, the Mic 2 came out with the Pocket 3, so obviously there is a Mic 2 in the works. My guess is that it won't be till February, March next year is my guess. I don't see why DJI would release it. I don't think they're going to, we would hear rumors of it if they're going to release it in December. And then generally they don't really release much in January because people are kind of reining back their spending after probably spending too much for Christmas. And so I think if I had to guess, I would say it's going to be like February, March of next year. But that's a total guess. Who knows? So Mic 2 out with the Ronin RS4 lawn. Yeah, that very well could be, honestly, actually. Because I'm kind of surprised the RS4 hasn't come out yet. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, it's been over a year since the RS3 came out. And so, yeah. On the other hand, they did release a crap ton of drones this year, so maybe they're taking a little break and letting us all catch up with our wallets. But yeah. You say March, Jared? Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. I'm thinking March-ish. Makes sense around then. So, hey, Joni, Drone Flyer. We've always got Ace Pro on the way. Nice, Sean. Have you tried the Action 4? I've debated about. Oh, actually, before I close the stream down, I do want to hear. Obviously, any of you that were on the stream last week know that I don't do work with Insta360 anymore because of issues we've had with them sponsoring a video and then not following through. So, but that's not to say that I don't appreciate their technology and their cameras. I do like the Go 3. I love the X3. They're great cameras. So should I buy an Ace Pro to test and review? Or, personally, I don't care. To me, the Action 4, the GoPro 12 are all great cameras. I'd be more interested in like the GoPro 360 camera version 2 or whatever the next iteration of that's going to be. I think, Sean, you're probably there with me too. Okay, Sean. Yeah, so I think from what I've seen and the same sensors is that the Action 4 and the Ace Pro are like neck and neck for really low light footage, but I think the Ace Pro might have a little advantage in its AI stuff. And yeah, it's unfortunate, Sean. But like I said, I still use the X3. I still use the Go 3. But I won't work with them as a company as far as like doing reviews or pre-release products or anything like that again. So it's yeah. So if I do, I'll buy one and I will give very honest feedback about it. Plus, I go super negative, which always gets lots of clicks. Game changing. Can't wait to see a budget mirrorless come in the future with global shutter tech. Yeah, Vishal, I agree. That's going to be awesome. Thanks. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, it is 5 o'clock. I got to end the stream. Let's see. Yeah. Till next week, which I should be here. Oh, no, actually, I won't be here. But I might be streaming anyway, so we'll see. I'm not sure yet because I've got a shoot that's out of state. But it's all very, like, tenuous based on times and weather and light and all of that. So, until then, Tamron 70-50 lens review comes out. Going to have some spectacular footage in it because I've spent the last, 6 weeks with that thing and captured a lot of stuff with it. It's great. Yeah. Other than that, there'll be some more Pocket 3 stuff coming. There'll be some more drone stuff coming, all of that. And, yeah, so till then, thank you all for being part of this community, for the super chats, joining as channel supporters. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And, yeah, thank you for watching the videos that I put out and commenting and liking and sharing and hanging out with me on the live streams. It really does mean a lot to me. So thank you all. I will see you again soon in the next video. Till then, be safe, be smart, and yeah, cheers, everybody.